Ma'am, I want to ask a question.
Taking the action is very important.
Yeah, that is the point. You have to start. At some point, you have to start. And you have to make that shift from thinking, I want it, I cannot do it, I don't have the money. Even if you don't have the money, I don't have the skills, I cannot play piano, why should I start it? Blah, blah, blah. We have all these great excuses why we don't do it. And this is a shift. And the shift is actually to say, we have to say we can not do it yet, but we have the ability to learn it. You want to learn Arabic, yeah, and you don't know it yet, but you can start, and then you will know it at some point. And the yet mindset, the power of the yet, is in sustainability at all. Sustainability is a skill. It's not a trait. It's a skill. And if I say I cannot live sustainably because it is too expensive, because I need to buy certain things that are more expensive, I need to invest in something to be sustainable, to have electrical energy, solar panels, it's all money. It's a fixed mindset. I have to find a way. I cannot do it now, but I have to believe that I can do it in the future. I have to believe that I find a way to do it. And that is a point that is important to know, the power of yet.
Basically, ma'am, we have to break the ice to start everything, and the universe will make us do everything. Then the universe will help us if we break the ice.
I didn't really understand what you were saying. Sorry.
Basically, ma'am, I'm trying to say that we have to take the initiative. We have to
Yeah,
break the ice. We have to get
exactly.
out. We have to take the first
Exactly.
step. The first step is always very hard,
Yeah,
but universe will help
exactly.
us to find the way.
We have to open that door to
Exactly.
the learning,
Opening the door
right? The
is
door to the learning.
initially very hard. Initially, it is very hard. Opening the door is initially very hard, but once you open it, you will find hundreds and hundreds of opportunities.
Yeah. So the only problem
Ma'am,
is,
I want to ask a question.
Okay, I
But
think we can
sometimes,
start questions.
can we maybe
Uh,
leave the
leave
discussion
the
to the
yeah.
points where I ask questions? I'm sorry, because otherwise we are not going to finish any
No,
point
there are no
soon.
more questions. Yes,
You can
they don't
please
take
ask
any
your
questions.
question,
Yeah,
but
just raise the hand, and if there's an opportunity, we will allow you. So, Oli, please start without questions, please.
no, if I ask a question, it's fine to answer, but if I go on, it's maybe better if we just continue. Otherwise, we'll get out of the content. The power of yet, the opening the door to learning is the only failure is if you just don't do it. If you say, I wanted to learn Arabic, I take your example, sorry now, and you say, oh, I'm giving up because it's too expensive, it's too difficult, it's too whatever, and you quit. And that is the point. And the shift we have to do for the creative mindset is not to say someone must lose. We're competitors. One of us will lose. No, let's find a solution for all of us to say, not this is a problem, but this is something where we can find a way, we can figure out how to solve it. And that is a point that is called Goldilocks tasks, as starting small. And Goldilocks zone is something between too easy and too hard. It's a little bit more than you would normally do. And for sustainability, if we talk about a sustainable action in your business plan or in your business you have, pick one action that stretches you a little bit, slightly. Maybe one vegetarian dish or one vegetarian day per week, or
Ma'am, can I ask a question? Can I
I
ask
didn't
a
understand.
question?
Yes.
Uh, you're saying that your taking first step is very important, and it's the most difficult part. But sometimes in motivation or in the excitement, we take the first step, but we face difficulty in maintaining that decision. Like sometimes
Yeah.
we lose the interest or motivation to. How is
Yeah.
that possible for us?
No, that is exactly what I say. The mindset has to be, if I want to change something, I have to be consistent. If you lose the momentum, it is not, you cannot do like, don't try to save the world on Monday and Tuesday, everything is back to normal. That's not the point. To have something starting small, some action that stretches you, but you have to keep it on. And so, what is it that you want to try, not tomorrow only, but for the next 7 days, for the next 14 days? Executives, most of you probably students, I don't know, but executives and many of us often want big transformation in one day. But mindset change happens through small, consistent actions every day. So what you just asked is, we have to, that is the Goldilocks task, to keep at it. Pick one tiny stretchy actions, then try to master it, and then somehow level it up, but keep on it. You cannot solve it on a single day. It's not possible. The Goldilocks task is a small task, not a big, a small, a little bit more than you'd normally do. And why? Because it's only a little bit, it's easier. If you have a big task and you want to solve it, you give up day afterwards. But if it's a tiny bit of stretching, you can really build on that. And it often feels hard. And sustainability also feels hard in business. I can tell you, it is very hard. And if we, yeah, sorry. No, what I'm talking about is we have to reframe how we think. For creative mindset, we have to reframe. Normally, if you are a company, wholesaler for construction workers, you sell drills, right? You sell a drill. But actually, what does the customer want? They buy the drill, why? They buy the drill, why they want to. Maybe they want to put a hole in the wall, they want to put a hook in, they want to hang a picture, and they want to see the picture in the living room. They buy the drill only to put that hole, to put the hook, to hang that picture. And that is what we have to sell. We have to reframe what we are thinking. The product we have, or the sustainability issue we have, we see sustainability as something we have to sacrifice something, give up comfort, it's more expensive, it costs more, and I cannot do what I want. So the feature of what we see is sell less plastic. But how do we reframe it to a experience, to a benefit? Less plastic means a cleaner home, no time wasted sorting trash, whatever your arguments are, you find. Not driving less to save oil or gas, more relaxed commute and savings. So you have to reframe. I'm going to challenge you with a reframe short exercise. How you can get the heart of creativity is not just the product, it's the argument, the benefit, the experience that you sell. You sell a sustainable actions that feels like a sacrifice as a benefit. So the creative sales pitch for sustainability is find a felt benefit, not the feature. And that is the first mindset shift you have to take to become, and you need creativity for that. And for new experiences, how do you come up with something totally different and totally new? So the question is, creativity. Am I creative? Are you creative? All of us are creative in certain ways. But how do you come up? Some of you want to start a business with something totally different, totally new. Now, one thing you have to do is to watch, to observe, to listen. It's senses, not speaking. I'm not talking about speaking at all. To watch, eyes, new ears, and then adopt and experiment. And what that means is, um, what do you see? What do you see here? No, this is a question you can answer. What do you see
As
here?
Eskimo.
An
एक गिटार
Eskimo. Hmm?
Basically, I'm seeing a man who's wearing a fur coat. I guess he's in somewhere skiing in mountains with lots and
Mm.
lots of snow and a minus degrees temperature.
You mean where it's cold, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, it's
Observation.
cold.
Okay, someone else sees something? Observation. Observation,
Ma'am,
very, very.
yeah
Hmm?
ma'am,
the
his
man is
complexion is dark, but his eyes are little gray.
Yeah.
I mean, there is a contrast between his eyes color and his complexion.
Yeah. What you just said,
Basic,
very, very perfectly
basically the
said, is observation.
basically basically the
Observation. You
complex.
say the eyes are
Ma'am,
gray.
his eyes are the focal point. They have a striking, almost glassy reflection that pulls the viewer in, creating a strong and sense of connection and humanity.
I didn't understand the no. The sound
I
is
think I think he's observing someone, the person in the photo.
okay. If you just
Ma'am,
observe,
in my point of view,
if you just observe,
Um,
you can say there is a person
Ma'am, it is
with
depicting the courage and bravery, I think.
मैम
क्या कर रहे
I,
हैं?
I I just focused on his eyes. There are two person in his eyes. Like he is looking forward to persons.
it's very hard
Ma'am,
to
his facial expression shows that he has survived a harsh weather and he has hope in his eyes that he
okay.
can survive
Okay.
even further.
So let me tell you, let me explain two things. One is observation and one is conclusions or things we know. Observation is, and one of you said, gray eyes, darker complexion. We see that there is some kind of bird, so probably a man, right? We see that the hair is dark black, and we see a fur. That is what we see. That is the observation. We see whatever gray eyes. We see the eyebrows. We see kind of a reddish skin and a beard, black hair, white fur. That is what we see. Everything we Everything else we say is something we pick from our memory, we pick from what we learned, and is not observation. What we learn is this person looks like an Eskimo, right? This person lives where it's cold. This person is whatever kind of mood in. This is what we cannot observe. And that's why observation is very important. And it is not about making assumptions. It is about just watching. And I want you to see differently, not keep out the assumptions, keep out all the things you learned, all the things you know because you've seen a picture of an Eskimo. Just observe. And this is the only thing how you can try to build your creativity, because I don't know. I don't know about the participants here. I just need to get the pictures. So to see, to observe, not interpret, not judge, not say this guy is happy, unhappy, or cold, or anything. See, observe, not interpret. That's the first thing. It's called ethnography, but it also has face. Now, what do you see here?
Uh, my name is Gausia, and I see a mall full of crowd. Basically, a mall full of charity, cheers and excitement where people can buy things for themselves, they can buy gifts for others. That's I see and observe.
Okay, the gifts are already assumptions and interpretation because you don't know. I see medicine or so, you don't know what they're doing. Are they buying? Is there a lot of,
Basically, ma'am, I can see a minus 20% signboard.
yeah,
So,
exactly.
so exactly they are here
Now, let me
grocery
ask
or
you,
jackets or warm
i-
clothes or anything that is available on the store because it's on off.
exactly, are they buying? Is it a good day for them all because there's so many people?
Exactly. And secondly, it's most importantly, it's 20% off.
Ah, okay. Okay, 20% off is an observation. An observation is, can we say the mall has a lot of revenue because all the people are there? No. Because do you see a lot of people with bags or stuff like that? No. And they're just, we don't know
People are
why they're in the mall. It might be that they're in the mall, and that is already assumption because it's cold outside, because they all wear coats, right? And inside it's warm. But nobody has a bag, or very few people have a bag. So the observation is there are people in a mall, they wear coats. There's a 20% reduction in some shop, but we cannot make a lot of more. We cannot make assumptions that it's a good day for them all, that they are buying a lot, that they are feeling comfortable. That would all be assumptions, and so we have to be very careful how we use our eyes. And the observation is the first thing you need to learn to look with different eyes, and you can practice that, and it helps you to, even if want to start a business and you go into a business that does something similar, you go with your new eyes and you just sit there, observe. Go into a coffee shop if you want to open a coffee shop. Sit there and watch, observe, see what you see. Don't interpret, don't, but see. And then
there.
later,
There might be a situation.
okay, I don't know why the screen is off. I can go back to share. Sharing is closed. I cannot
So I
share.
will request people, Septansa, please don't ask questions without permission. Please, nobody ask questions, otherwise we will never finish. This
Yeah,
is the
that is true.
manners. Only
Can
raise
you
hand.
can you let me share my screen again, please?
Yes, okay, okay. Okay, let me, where is it? Okay. Oli, okay. Sorry, I'm sorry. Okay, you can do that. So please, there are some manners. Do not ask questions without raising a hand. Otherwise, we will not finish.
Okay,
And please
that
write
is
your, and in front of your name, Septansab, write where are you from? Which program are you from? And so that we can know who you are. Thank you. Only can
okay.
you do it
Yeah,
again.
I have to close this panel. Okay. Now I'm asking you to, the first one who says the answer is enough, you don't need to repeat it 5 times. What is the word I'm asking for?
Standard.
Okay, perfect. Okay, now what is, oops. Okay, standard. What is this word? What is this meaning? Fill out the gaps to make sense of it.
Understand.
Understand, it doesn't work with the letters.
People can write in the chat box, please.
I cannot see the chat, so you will have to read it to me if you feel like there's the right answer.
Standard, as standard, still standard. Not able.
Ma'am, outstanding.
Outstanding doesn't match. Let's see how creative you are.
Please write in the chat box.
Hmm.
A standard, no.
No, many people come up with a standard, but it's not.
It is still standard, but opposite. Wordings are changed. Words are changed.
You know, I framed you with the first one because you read standard right away because I framed you with the first gaps. Now you have to be thinking totally differently. Okay, nobody. Can happen. You're not the first group who doesn't come up. Sometimes someone is very fast, very quick. Okay, I'll give you the solution. First, second, third. What I did with that is I framed you with a standard thing. I framed you into looking at something a way you know it should be. And so if I go back to here, totally clear right away, right? This one is not letters because it includes numbers. And this is a shift you have to do, a creative thing that you have to do. And what it means that if you have this animal, and normally you don't look at it from below, you look at it from above. But what you have to do is you have to reframe yourself. You have to look at it with new eyes, from a different perspective, from a different way, to see different things. It looks totally different from below than from above. And that is a point where I want you to be aware that this is important. And in business, this means every aspect of your business is part of that reframing. You talk to your customers, you listen to your customers, reframe. You observe your customers, you visit your customers, you listen to your customers again, you observe them again. You ask for feedback, you listen to your customers. Think about how many touch points you have and how different it can be what you see and what you hear. And with that, you will be more creative to come up with a solution because this customer has a problem and they want a solution usually. And that is what I want you to understand. And I'm not going to play this now because we're a little bit later, but think like a traveler, and I'm just going to wrap this up. I'm not going to play that video, but there is a link and I'm going to share a slide so you can watch it. A traveler is coming into a country, doesn't know anything. They smell new, it smells different from their home. It looks different. The sounds are different. Everything is new. Your brain is totally active. And this is what I want you to be if you look at things. All your senses have to be in there. And that is what you need to have a creative mindset. And to gather everything that happens. And customer needs, pain points. You probably heard that because you studied, and there's some we know. Everybody knows there is a problem, but there are some that are not recognized. And if you can see them, if you can perceive them, you can come up with a solution beforehand. And I'll just give one brief example, a company with diapers. And the kids were small, right? At some point, parents have the problem. They want to get the kids out of the diaper. They want to get them out of the diaper. So if I'm a diaper producer, what can I do? This is not a problem that the parents really see as a problem because it's a normal process. But I, as a company, say they have a latent problem. And so what can I do to solve that? And so they came up with a formula that at some age, the diapers, different size, they became uncomfortable to wear if they were wet. And so the kids wanted to get rid of them and help the parents actually in the process. And so those are things where you have to think about what you see, what you observe, talking to them, listening to the customers who buy your diapers, that they say, actually at some point when they're like 2-3 years old, I want them to get rid of them, and finding a solution for that. And this is reframing. This is a process. It's not going to stop. It's not a one cycle. and it's done. You have options, you have a context, you choose and you try again, you reframe again, and you go ahead. And one last thing there I want to point out, that there is something that we want to create value, right? We want to have a creative choice for sustainability. So parasitic value, I briefly have to explain what that is. A parasite is someone who sucks on to a host and sucks out all the nutrients that this host has because they want to have them. And when the host dies, they don't care. They go to the next host, the next business opportunity, and there are these businesses, and there are unfortunately quite a number of companies who create value parasitic. And what does parasitic value creation mean? It means there are two people talking about something. They create a win-win situation, but the person who pays the price is not at the bargaining table. And I'll give you one example. Pharmaceutical industries. Two pharmaceutical companies, competitors, talking about, let's say this company has a product and the patent runs out. This company enters at this low price, so they talk. And they find a solution to keep the price up. This company gets money, they get money, blah, blah, blah. Who pays the price for that they keep the price up? They're both happy. They both created value for both companies, but who pays the price? The patient, the health insurance. They all pay the price. It's not the patient who is sitting at the bargaining table. They create value by taking value away from someone else. So in an industry, so think about whatever industry you are from. Is there a common practice that resembles parasitic value? And what would symbiotic, a creative alternative look like? So two fundamentally different ways to create value. Parasitic value, you win by taking from someone or something else without giving back. In business, can be hidden fees, can be greenwashing. In a personal life, it is buying cheap goods that break quickly and end up in a landfill. We talk about sustainability here. It's unsustainable by definition. It's not sustainable. And the symbiotic, the opposite, the symbiotic value, on the other hand, is creative. It asks, how can I design this so that everyone benefits, including the environment or the society? It's a circular economy, a product as a service, a supply chain that regenerates and rather than extract only. Why does this relate to the creative mindset for sustainability or sustainable living? Because our current economy, the default mode of our current economy is parasitic. It's easier to take than to redesign. Being creative means rejecting this default mode that we have. It means looking at a problem, let's say plastic packaging, instead of just accepting it, asking, what is a symbiotic alternative? Is it a deposit system? Is it edible packaging? Is it a refill model? What is it? Creatively thinking about what is, if I don't accept it, the alternative. For executives, the most creative, sustainable move is to shift from parasitic profit making to symbiotic. It is not only ethical, I think it's smart, because our resources are not finite. They are finite, they're not infinite. Trust is fragile in a business world, I think. Regulations are coming anyhow. And those who use creativity to design a symbiotic solution, I think, will have a very positive future. So the challenge is, think about your industry. I don't want to have an answer right now. I don't really want to have it. I'll leave that. And creativity is the tool to redesign that model. A sustainable life cannot be built on parasitic value. And last thing, yeah, maybe we still have the time. We discussed a little bit long at the beginning, how to spark your own creativity, something I want to give to you to practice, because people say I'm not creative. We are all creative. You can spark it. If you really, I asked you that question, if you really, really, really want to get something done, you will find a solution. And you will come up with something that is not the normal way, that is a way to use it. If you intensely desire something, if you have a big, big, big problem, you will also come up with something creative. Our problem was our IT business. I briefly touched upon that at the beginning, came because we had a production problem. And it was a big problem. It was essential for us to solve it, and we couldn't buy it. We couldn't afford to buy it. People said it's not possible, and we said it has to be possible. And that's why it was the spark to our own creativity that we said we're going to do it ourselves. So that is the other, and the third trigger is focused questions. And I share the questions with you because if you're in a group and you were stuck because you're not knowing where you go, what are we trying to do here? What are we trying to do? First question. Second, how are we trying to do it right now? How are we doing it? What do we want as an outcome? What is the result that we want to have? And next questions, are there other ways to achieve our goals or desired outcomes? And I want to tell you, you have to be very open-minded. You have to allow every crazy idea, because from every crazy idea, something will come. You cannot say, this is too, this is too far away from what we want to do. No, you have to allow, brainstorming allows everything. And that is what I just can stress. It's very important that you allow everything. All of us have three minds. The one we all have here, which is pretty slow. It's like thinking on paper. But we all have a subconscious mind, and you know that. We have a gut feeling, we trust instincts. The third one, and you all have that as well, and it's buried below your subconscious mind, is your superconscious mind. And you have that. And as I said at the beginning, it's a muscle. It's a muscle you can train. It's a muscle. It's really like going into the gym. The more you use it, you don't use it up, it gets more. You don't use it up, it gets more. So all the creativity you have is going up. And very important is with what you do is the feeling, the emotion that you have with it. And creativity and emotion for me is closely linked. And people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but they will not forget how you made them feel. And if you come up with new things that are related to them, it's a lot more effective. And the question is, what is your creative wow factor? When did you say wow, when you went into a business and you came out of that business and said, wow, what an experience? You don't have that. It's very rare that you have that. How do you create that creative wow factor? And it can be anywhere in a business, anywhere. Every part of the value chain is part of it. And I give at the very end now a few examples what we did to sustain relationships with customers. We had these small packages of gummy bears, and maybe 8 pieces were in there. And we asked ourselves, who is our touch point? And we said, it's not the salesperson we talk to. Our bricks go to the yard of the wholesaler or the construction company, and it's another person getting them, but it's a touch point. And so we bought these, not very individually made. They were just, you could buy them, and we just put them to the delivery papers. And we created a whole new conversation with with people we never talked to. And they called us and they said, thank you so much for the gummy bears. They didn't thank us for the breaks they got, but they said, thank you for the gummy bears. They said, when they called back, they said, I would like to order a new pack of gummy bears. It was 8 pieces. It was tiny package, right? 8 pieces. We'd like to have new gummy bears, but please bring them with the bricks. And when we ran out of them because we hadn't ordered, they said, why didn't I get gummy bears? So suddenly we had a completely different relationship, and it was very sustainable and very different. And that is just, our competitors thought we are crazy, right? What are they doing? They didn't understand at all. But that's tiny thing of creativity that helps you. Also doing something for the first time, to be different. We made a calendar. It's a ready-to-make calendar, but it has never been done before to show a picture from sewer bricks. And nobody knew. And when we brought out this calendar, we said, where are they going to hang it? So we told our salespeople to go bring a hammer and a nail and just put it right somewhere on the wall. But when we got calls, and the construction companies, they said, someone is valuing our work. First time someone is showing what we are actually doing. Our wholesaler said, oh, there's this type of brick I never knew, where I sold it, but I had no idea where it was needed. And you have to be unique. You have to take any creativity you have and work it out. And at some point we said, and this is our brick factory, but we said we're going to make events because we want to have the customer who never came to us, because we always came to them. We said we make events. We'll bring them to us. We'll make a unique experience because they've never been at an event, a concert in a brick factory. And so we had jazz company. This is the kiln, on the kiln. And they were playing on the kiln cars. And it was the effect that first year we did that, we invited the people we had to deal with. Next year we did it. They called us and said, can I bring my wife? Can I bring my family? So they made a weekend out of it. And this was like, we were talking about totally different things, just coming up with ideas that were totally different from what others did, and were sustainable in the second way I said at the beginning, not environment, society, but in the sustaining of relationships. So be who you really are, embrace who you are, and you have to find that. Hug yourself, accept who you are, unless you're a serial killer. Be a truth seeker. And that is the last point. And so the question is, what will you do? You're still students, some of you are students, some of you are not. How do I get out? Okay, okay. So what do you want to do? I gave you the most creative and sustainable life is definitely authentic. I would say it's authentic. You don't have to copy anyone's path, anyone's sustainability path. You can design your own, and it can be so different from the industry. It doesn't matter. We were a totally outlier in our industry, and it still made us successful. And so if you want to go on one small Goldilocks task, right, this week, the tiny bit you want to stretch yourself, say it's a benefit, and design your own call to action.
Wonderful. Thank you, Frauli, for a wonderful speech. So we have people from all over Peru, South America in this group, from Narowal, from Lahore, from Rawalpindi, Islamabad, from Karachi. Muhammad Ishfaq is a police officer, and he is learning how to teach entrepreneurship. He's there, Muhammad Ashfaq. So only one question, then we can take 2-3 questions. You can raise your hands. So is the book Atomic Habits? They talk about small habits, which is it the same thing you're talking about? Are you aware of
Sorry?
this concept? Are you aware of this concept? Atomic habits. Atomic habits. Atom habits.
Atomic?
Yeah. Atomic.
No,
ATOMIC.
I don't know the name, but I can imagine what it means.
Yeah. Great. So you say that we should start small and
Small,
be
tiny
persistent.
bit more than we feel comfortable with. A tiny bit.
Okay. Great. So this last thing was amazing. Be who you really are. Embrace
Yeah.
you are. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Aziz, you have a question? Aziz, please ask the question.
Oh, hiya. Speaking of these from Newcastle, UK. Thank you very much for your time, and it's help a lot, whatever you told us today. Uh, Obviously, I'm running as an entrepreneur of my business, and it's beautifully running. The thing is, like, I'm gonna add something. I just started. I did not think about like the way it's going to be, and I just done with my to-do attitude, and it's helped me a lot. I'm successfully running my business now, and the thing is now I'm going to try to scale it up because I did not think about the perfection. Perfection take time. I know it's not easy to do perfect thing. So just I'm stuck on a scale up. So let's see it's take how long. Dr. Shahid Qureshi helped me a lot in first batch, and he just gave me an idea. So just scale it up rather than to be stuck on a small level. So this is what's going on now. Thank you.
Okay.
Great.
Try to think outside the box. Sometimes it's easy. I mean, I found that if you have creativity, you can replace lack of money. Actually, if you don't have enough money to do things, you can replace it with creativity. Like the small gummy bear things. They didn't cost much, really. It was just a tiny thing, but it was a lot more effectful than to have a big folder file with, a lot of printed material or anything. It was a lot cheaper. And so I think that creativity really substitutes lack of resources. Because we couldn't buy the software we wanted to buy. So we did it ourselves. We couldn't buy it. We couldn't afford certain things, so we did it differently. So I think that is very important also to understand creativity is as important, it can replace a lack of resources. Pretty much convinced about that. Maybe you're not that far in creativity like I am, but for us, I could give thousands of examples where it helped us to do it differently, and it was as successful as the other things, or sometimes even more successful. But it's
I agree what you
a
were saying. Like,
process to
obviously,
get into it.
that's
Really, it's a
yeah,
process. So you
yeah.
have
It's a
to
process.
practice that muscle. Yeah, you have to
Yeah,
practice
I
that.
understand where you're coming from, but that's like your point of the work, like you need to find in your work to creativity,
Yeah,
which is like
yeah.
help you a lot to in your business, because obviously everybody have a, like their own path, what they are doing, and then they need to find in their path what it will be good for them to like if they want to do something different than someone else. This is what I think. So far, I understand.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Thank you for your time. Thank you.
Hey,
Thank you very
You're
much.
Sadi
welcome.
Saab
And
from Gavada, it's great to see you. Aziz Bhai, inshallah, we'll be in touch. Sadi Saab, English में पूछेंगे उर्दू में? In English or Urdu? I will translate.
सर उर्दू में आप ट्रांसलेट
I will
करेंगे
translate. I will translate. He will ask in Urdu. Yes.
सर जैसा कि हमने देखा है कि जुम्मे के दिन हर मस्जिद के पास बहुत ज़्यादा रश हो जाता है, तो मैं मसाला बेचना चाह रहा हूँ क्योंकि वहाँ बहुत ज़्यादा रश होता है और बहुत कम टाइम के लिए होता है। तो बहुत अरसे से मैं करना चाह रहा हूँ लेकिन वो कुछ हो नहीं पा रहा है। तो उसके हम कैसे कहाँ से शुरू कर सकते हैं इस काम को?
Okay. Uli, he's asking that on Friday, there's a lot of rush outside mosques in Pakistan. A lot of people come for Friday prayers, and he wants to sell masale ko kya kehte hain? spices. He wants to sell spices, and he is thinking of going and standing outside the mosque and selling spices. So he says, I'm just thinking what to do. Shall I go?
I mean, I would just try it out. I mean, I personally, if I think that it's an idea, I would just try it out first. I would just try it out. And the question is, I don't know culturally if this is okay or not. I don't know if it's okay that you, or if people who go to the mosque on a Friday prayer, I remember that from my visits to Pakistan, that actually not much was happening. So I have no idea if the people who go to the mosque for the Friday prayers are interested in buying spices. I don't know that. So if I don't know that, I would still try it. And the question is, what can you do to make it different from a normal spice booth, like a normal stand that has spices? What would be the difference to the others? That's where I would think about what could I do? Is there some spice? I have no idea. I'm just brainstorming. Is there a spice that is specifically good if I have it for a Friday prayer because it's maybe the one I want to smell most if I go out? I have no idea about that. I don't know about Friday prayers, but so I would just start thinking about how can I be different from another spice stand? And if the location is already different, but how can I reach these people who probably come out or not go in, but probably come out and buy when they come out? So
Can I add up something
We
on
have
it?
yes, Aziz, can we just a minute? We have a question from Peru. I will take your question. Fatima from Peru, South America. Fatima, you have a question?
Yes, it's an honor to be here. I'm from
Fatima
Ecuador.
Torres?
Yes, do you hear
Okay, in
me?
the meanwhile, Aziz Saab can ask. In the
Do you
meanwhile,
hear
Fatima,
me?
if you're there, please get in.
Can you hear me?
Aziz bhai, you can
Yes,
ask in
yes,
the
we
meanwhile.
can hear you, Fatima. Go ahead, please. Thank you.
Okay, well, I wanted to ask that if I have like an idea for a project, how can I start small but then scale? How can I know that
Yes,
I am
Fatima,
ready?
go ahead.
And
Yeah.
how can I know that my steps are in the right direction to scale in the future?
I didn't have that in the slides. There are two ways to go. There is a managerial way to go forward because you have a plan to go there, and there is the entrepreneurial way where you go and you get off track. In both ways, you get off track. But the managerial way means you get back on track and then you somehow reach your goal. But the entrepreneurial way is to make smart small steps. And with making a first smart small step, look at it. What do I learn from it? Does it work? So I know a former student from Babson, and he had the idea to make a hot dog chain of restaurants in China, and he had no idea if it's going to work. And so he made like a small booth where he served hot dogs and tried out, do they like it at all, or what do they like? And from that he figured out he didn't invest big. From that he figured out I have to change it, I have to adapt it, make the next step. At some point he might learn he needs a Chinese partner. He takes that partner and you make small smart steps and try it, and you reflect and you go back. And I think that is the right way to go forward. It's not even if you have that big dream, you have to start with small, smart steps because they teach you something. You learn something, you take something away from it, and you go forward with a different knowledge, and you apply that knowledge. And the next smart step, you might learn, I still have to adjust something. And so at some point and most businesses actually start like that. They start at some point, some make a larger step at the beginning, but then they have a learning experience. But if you start and you don't want to invest a lot and notice that it's not what the customers want, the learning experience is several small, and it's a cycle. You always go back. Do I have the resources for that? And How do I go forward? I think that is the way I would do it.
Thank you
If
so
it's a
much.
startup business, right? A startup business.
Yeah, it's about reflection and improving, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, thank you.
exactly. Making an experience and then think, what do I learn from it? How can I apply that? How do I go forward? Maybe going forward is different from what you did before.
Okay, thank you.
So we have Farhan Saab from Melbourne.
I have a very basic question that how to make a creative mind or how to create creative mind. Because I have seen many professional people who are very successful in their career, but when they became redundant or they lose their job, they get no way. Either they are looking for the C level job, which they become redundant, or otherwise they are stuck in establishing their own identity or any other business because they do not have the creative mind. They can perform well in whatever they are doing in the job, but they are unable to take a step for their themselves. So that's my basic question.
Yeah, I think you can only start practicing it to observe. I think for me it starts with observation. And if if I go in any restaurant, in any, it doesn't matter where I go, I observe. If I go with my husband, and Dr. Shahid knows my husband, and he wanted to join. I'm not sure if he's in or not. If I go into a restaurant, I observe. I see 3 light bulbs not working. I see a lot of things. And I give you one example, and this is really training to see. I just go in and see. My husband goes in and calculates if they make a profit. He's a different type of person. I go in and I observe and I say, this restaurant is on a way down because the menus are bad. I see that the menus are really bad quality, not nice to touch anymore. Light bulbs not working, this not okay, this not okay. So that is observation. And I think you start to develop that creative mindset with observation. And I really am convinced it is different eyes. Think like a traveler who comes for the first time into a country, for the first time, and experiences the differences. Maybe that is how you can maybe imagine it a little bit better. That you come first time to Thailand, and there's everywhere they're frying garlic, and they're doing this, and there's smells that are different from things. And it is just observation. It just let that go into your brain and take that in and notice it. And many people are not, and many of successful entrepreneurs also are not, cannot see something. They cannot see. And I cannot tell you, I think I know you can train it. I know I always had it, but I know you can train it because I see that I could train it with people in my company. But it starts with not really not looking at the outside, knowing everything, knowing what is right, knowing what is wrong, but allowing to just, experience things without judging, especially without judging or interpreting. And that is something you can practice. And then you will suddenly see things you haven't seen before. You get very attentive to things that you see. For me, it starts with the eyes.
Thank you. So we can take the last question. I would like to welcome Ishfaq Saab, Sajid Gawadar, Hafiz Sabghatullah, Abdur Rahman, this young man. He had a broken leg and he is my student. I hope he's fine now. Jawad Mirza, welcome. So the last question from Farhan Saab. Last question, we are already over time. Farhan Rana, last question, please.
जी अस्सलाम वालेकुम सर, कैसे हैं आप? ठीक ठाक हैं? अच्छा सर, क्वेश्चन इज दैट कि कुछ लोग जो बिजनेस नहीं करना चाहते, लाइक मैनी एंटरप्रेन्योर्स जो हैं बिकम लीडर्स, बट नॉट ऑल लीडर्स आर एंटरप्रेन्योर्स, एंड समवन वांट्स टू सर्व टू आवर नेशन, बट दे आर बिलोंग्स टू बिजनेसमैन. तो मतलब कुछ लोग ऐसे हैं कि जो अपनी सोसाइटी को सर्व करना चाहते हैं, उनका इंटरेस्ट बिजनेस में नहीं है, तो वो कैसे अपनी सोसाइटी को सर्व करेंगे? लाइक सब बिजनेसमैन तो नहीं बनना चाहते, कुछ लीडर्स बनना चाहते हैं, लाइक वो नेशन को सर्व करना चाहते हैं, तो उनके लिए क्या
because Uli cannot understand Urdu.
No, I didn't. Sorry.
But Rana Sahib, either you, okay.
I couldn't understand. I couldn't understand the question. Sorry.
Can someone
Can I
translate?
translate, Dr. Shahid?
Yeah,
Can I
you
translate
can.
for him?
sir,
Please translate.
the question is that for someone who's motivated by impact and public services rather than the profit, what entrepreneurial skills transfer best to leadership roles to government or public policy? Like many entrepreneurs become leaders, but not all leaders are entrepreneurs. Then, what mindset shifts are needed if my goal is to serve the public office instead of building a company or something like business related? Actually, I want to serve a nation.
You talk about the difference between a social enterprise and an enterprise, or I'm really not quite sure.
He wants to serve in the public office, government offices. Can he still be creative
Serving
enough?
government offices. I don't
Yeah.
know really what to
Entrepreneurial.
advise for that, because I think there are many other constraints. I work with a government agency, and there are other constraints. So I think an entrepreneur who works with a government agency, I think you have to just really that is totally different. But you have to find out, or you have to know what they want. And at the moment, sustainability is something every government wants. So you can already start, even if they haven't mentioned the word yet, you can start thinking about if you can come up with something that is a creative, sustainable solution. And what I see in governments is they're not creative at all, not creative at all. And because they're very much, they were taught to work in their, the TORs, the terms of reference or whatever. But I found that yet you can also come up with something that is different with them, but it is a lot more, I would say it is more difficult than with a private company that you're working with.
Yes.
But I still think you can. I mean, we worked with the cities of many cities, governments, in Germany, and if you find what they want, if you talk to them and you find out what they want, for example, the city of Frankfurt, when we said we want to take the pictures from the sewage system, they never thought about that, and they were very cooperative. And then they said, we help you, we clean, we do everything, because it's gas there, you cannot just take a photo. And then they said, but we would like to have, big photos of our own sewage system for our corridor, for our offices. And so you have to still, I think if you talk a lot with them, you talk. Talking means listening to them. That's one slide I had. With you talk to them, you listen to them, you hear, you observe what is happening, you talk again, you listen again. And I think that works with government offices as well, in my opinion, because then you find out that city, for example, that city has a problem with a certain product you have, and if you do a slight change, it solves the problem. But you only learn that if you talk to them directly, if you listen to them, if you observe what happens on site. I think that works,
Great.
but it's not
Thank you
that
very
easy.
much.
Is Dr. Shahid talking? I don't hear him. I don't know. Did he end the session? Or I don't know what he did. Probably. He's the host, so I'm not in charge.
Okay,
Where is he?
great. So I would like to thank you, Uli, for a wonderful talk. And Uli has been visiting Karachi, Gujranwala, Lahore, and she once came for 1 day, actually, 1 day from Bangkok to Karachi to Lahore and Gujranwala, and she went back. So everybody, can you give a thumbs up for Uli? Thank you. Clapping I would appreciate. Vielen Dank, tausend Danke. Tausend Dank in Deutsch and
Yeah.
Swadik Hi, Shukriya in Urdu. May God bless you. And I hope Hans is fine and healthy. And I
Yeah.
will call you separately. And looking forward to see you again. My dear friends, we will send this recording in the group, inshallah. So looking forward to Sajid Khan. Thank you. And many
Thank
friends
you.
and daughters who are there. From Peru, I'm especially Hassan Khan and his students from Spanish-speaking country were here today, and
Okay.
people from Lahore, Islamabad, Karachi, Australia, and UK. So you were talking to the whole world, Uli, today.
Global.
Wonderful. Global Uli. Thank you. Goodbye. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Goodbye.
Prof.